8:45 now. Wall Street seems fired up about a stronger than expected jobs report as the Dow rolls out of the gate up about 250 points to 42,261. Some thoughts on that and other things that come to mind from Jim Spiro of Morgan Stanley. Good morning to you.
You too, John.
So 254,000 new jobs last month. Unemployment at its lowest point in 3 months at 4.1%, and a better report than had been expected by economists.
Yeah. I think it's a good illustration of two things. Number one, the economy isn't getting ready to take a big leg down, and we're not going into a hard recession. I think the Fed's done a pretty good job. You and I have talked about that many, many times. I also think the people are looking for, significantly lower interest rates in the next couple of months. I think that's a little ahead of the curve. And also accompanying the good numbers that you cited were a number of revisions from the Federal Reserve and from the Bureau of Labor. And I think it indicates that a lot of this stuff, you don't want to make too much out of any one-day statistics because they're often revised.
Well, and you sometimes wonder, that's a great point, and we've seen that in the past. And then the other thing, too, is when coming into the day, my question was, well, is Wall Street going to like the fact that the economy's better than we thought, or is it going to go in a funk because this does not make a strong case for rapidly lowering interest rates?
Well, rapidly lowering interest rates are nice. Assets generally respond positively to lower interest rates, but everything to an extent. The old bit about moderation is what you want. You don't want interest rates coming down so sharply as we did 4 years ago because the economy's falling off a cliff. So the soft landing phrase is the one you hear most often, and I think it's apt here, and I think things are on pretty good course.
Let's shift gears a little bit, talk about something that you noted, which is many people are not just buying gold as kind of a safe refuge, but also silver. What's going on?
Well, I guess silver is sort of a little brother to gold in many ways. They share a lot of the same characteristics, pros and cons. The most obvious con is that there's an opportunity cost. It just sits there like gold. It doesn't throw off any income. So if you're in an environment of reasonably good interest rates, that's a detraction. On the plus side, it's a hedge against sharp inflation, sharp deflation, global instability, which we clearly have now. And it also has some industrial uses that gold does not have. It's used quite a bit in the transition, or the one we're trying to make towards green energy. So it's a key role in solar panels, a key role in electric batteries. So there's a case to be made for it. I'm not one of these people walking around with, silver coins in my pocket because I don't think we're looking at anarchy, but there is a case to be made for it, yes.
But I knew an economist, an actual economist years ago, decades ago now, who told me that he was buying physical gold. For part of his the way he looked at it was for part of his portfolio. I gather you're not going to suggest that people should throw a bunch of money at it.
No, I'm going to suggest to the contrary for an abundance of reasons. Number one, if you buy physical silver or physical gold for that matter, I would find it a pain in the neck. You've got insurance costs, storage costs. And I know a lot of people make the case that we're around the corner from anarchy and people are going to be walking around with bazookas and machine guns. If that were the case, I don't really know what good it is going to be to have a couple of gold or silver bars in your pocket. I don't know where that's going to take you. So no, that's not something I would do. And the other thing I would tell people about silver, John, is that if you look back, over long periods of time, which is what investing is all about, there'll be pockets, for gold as well, of meaningful outperformance. Silver's up over 30% this year. But if you look at it over the long term, you'll see that most of these things vastly underperform a simple S&P 500 index with a lot more moving parts and hassle.
All right. Jim Spiro from Morgan Stanley. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jeff.
Let's get another check.